That's the question. We'll find out.
Harris has always given the Rockets fits when he was at Dallas. But he couldn't be any tougher than Chris Paul was Saturday night.
I agree with that.
Richard Jefferson coming off a pick for an easy basket. What worries you is that Jefferson averages 23 points a game, 21 points for Vince Carter. Harris averages 16 points a game since he's a net. So if they all have good night shooting, the Rockets will have to play inspired basketball to beat them. Because they will be able to score.
Yes, they will, and they're pretty loose because nothing is expected.
Louis Scola with a great move inside.
Scola's proven some good low-post moves, and the Rockets are going to need that down the stretch against the better talent in the Western Conference.
A good article about Luis in the Morning Chronicle. Carter down the baseline, and he dribbled out of bounds. The officials, we've got a veteran crew. Joe Crawford, one of the best around. Michael Smith and Orlando Spool. Orlando Spool, Smith, and Crawford, the officials for tonight's game. Draper Alston takes it right down the middle, lays it in. And he continues to do that very well.
The backcourt of the Rockets are playing as well as any backcourt in the entire league.
They really are.
Yes, Tracy and Raper are on fire.
Raper, of course, had to endure a lot of bad publicity, and then we're going to have a loose ball foul called on Dikembe Mutombo. Raper starting to get a little bit of that credit that is due him now. He did not start the season very well shooting-wise, and a lot of the talk shows and everybody got on him a little bit, but he's endured all of that. He's a tough guy.
Yes, he is. And he's gotten better. All he did is continue to improve his game, and I got to give Skip a lot of credit. I was one of those guys who was starting to doubt his shooting ability.
Well, you know, I think the driving to the basket has helped him out more than anything else. He's getting some easier points now. Yeah, that's a good point. Scola taking it inside on Boone, and Boone swats it away. Now, you talk about one of the young sophomores in the NBA. This is his second year, and that young man is among the best in the league right now of the second-year man, and he is doing quite a number.
Yes, he is averaging 8 points and 7 rebounds for the Nets.
Brady with the miss. And his cousin, Vince Carter, will bring it up. Jumbo shut the middle off.
The Nets won't waste a lot of time on the shot clock.
No.
A very quick team. They want to up-tempo it. They want to outscore you.
The Nets are number 28 in the league, shooting only 44% from the field. Rafer Alston with the miss, and it comes right to Mutombo, a fresh 24 for Houston. Kristich not guarding anybody. As Carter picks up. Scola, McGrady lays it off to Mutombo!
And Mutombo is looking like a young man as he throws it down emphatically.
Well, you get a little extra hop in your step when your team is going for its 19th win in a row, and I don't care if you're 41 years old.
You feel like 30, right?
That's right. Josh Boone putting it up, and Mutombo made him change the shot. Raper in a hurry. Richard Jefferson, a very good defensive player, one-on-one. Can he stay with McGrady? McGrady to the basket, draws the foul, and T-Mac will go to the line to shoot two. I don't know of anybody who can guard Tracy McGrady one-on-one.
No, it's very tough because you can't put a hand on him, and he's jet quick. McGrady created for his teammates, and Mutombo was the recipient of that last pass.
We have a 20-second timeout taken by the New Jersey Nets. And fans, it's the McDonald's break in action, so take a timeout to text for a free McSkillet burrito coupon. I'm loving it.
Sounds good to me.
Are you loving it?
I'm loving it.
We're loving everything now, aren't we?
You know what, though? It's hard not to like it when you're trying to win. your 19th game in a row.
And did you hear Matt Bullard using the excuse if he's not going to wear a tie as long as the Rockets are winning? That's just a cheap way. He doesn't have to take his shirts to the cleaners anymore. His wife can wash his golf shirts, so he just keeps wearing those golf shirts.
That's a veteran move right there. And I noticed that Clyde's not wearing a tie tonight either.
Yeah,
so
I had your back, Bull. I had your back.
See, Clyde and I are doing our part, Bill. What's your excuse?
Hey, I've been wearing a tie. You want me to break it?
No.
No, see,
Keep wearing it.
you and Kevin in the studio, you got to wear the ties, and Clyde and I will go tieless.
I like that.
That's a pretty bad
All the way
excuse.
to the finals.
Well, remember early in that last game, I said he was almost scoring a point a minute, and you said, well, he won't play for 48, and he did. He
did.
played 48 minutes in the last game, Tracy McGrady.
And they needed him for all 48. He had 41 points. We came up short of a point a minute.
That's an 8-0 run now after the Nets scored the first basket of the game. Devin Harris from the outside. It had to be a shock to that young man when Dallas traded him away. He went for a team that was right at the top of the Western Conference. Although the Nets, believe it or not, still have a chance to get to the NBA playoffs.
In the Eastern Conference,
Yeah.
yes. They're right in the thick of it.
They're 11 games under 500, and they're right there. And we have a whistle and a foul on Richard Jefferson. And look at Lawrence Frank out on the court. Michael Smith's got to tee him up, doesn't he?
You think so? He's got to be saying something.
Well, they are upset. You don't see Richard Jefferson, who, by the way, was a #1 draft choice of the Rockets, although they drafted him for the Nets after the trade. There's Austin taking it inside, and a foul on Josh Boone.
Yeah, they drafted him and traded him before he ever put on a Rocket hat. Would have been a good draft pick. And they got rid of him for who? You remember? 6'9". Tim Duncan lookalike, they thought at the time. from Seton Hall.
Oh, yeah. I can't remember that part.
Griffin.
Yep.
Not Andy Griffin.
Well, he played like Andy. Played like Goober. Ray for Austin with the free throw. And the ball knocked out of bounds by Scola. 9-2. Rockets have scored 9 in a row.
In fact, the Rockets had 3 draft picks in that first round and traded them all for Griffin.
Yeah, we don't talk about that anymore.
No, we won't even mention it. It's in the past.
Goes back in the dark ages. Inside, Jefferson goes for the dunk, and Mutombo swatted it away, knocked out of bounds by Rafer, and a loose ball foul is called on Rafer Alston. The one thing that Kimby is probably a little quicker, believe it or not, defensively than Yao is, and a technical foul has been called on Lawrence Frank. Finally, he came out a little too far.
Well, he was pushing.
And you don't want to mess with Joey Crawford.
Joey's got a short fuse now, first of all. And Frank was pushing the envelope because he was too emphatic. When you show that much movement while talking to...
It's easy going, but Joey's a different cat.
Yeah, you could be saying, I thought you said it wasn't going to rain tonight. I mean, if you show that much movement, they're going to tee you up. Because it looks like you're showing them off.
And you certainly don't want to say Jerry is a bad umpire. And, of course, his daddy was a great umpire, too, in the National League, Shag Crawford. So that's a family of arbitrators. Up the court, Rafer all the way, and goaltending is called on Devin Harris. Again, the Rockets taking advantage when the fast break is there.
And the Nets are a horrific defensive team. That time, no one was back to protect the fast break. You don't see that very often in the NBA.
Kristich giving it up to Carter. Isolation with Jefferson. Contact, no whistle. And a whistle on the Rockets. And a foul is called on Louis Scola. That's his first foul of the game. And the third team foul on the Rockets. So both teams with 3 fouls early. The referee's calling it close to start this game. Devin Harris hits the jumper from the outside. He hasn't shot the ball particularly well And if he has a weakness, it's the outside shot. He drives to the basket very well, but in New Jersey, shooting only 38%.
Overall, he's shooting about 46.
Yeah.
So he's really improved in his short time in the league. In his fourth season, his jumper is tremendously improved, because I can remember when he was younger, he couldn't shoot it. He couldn't shoot a lick.
Yeah. Oh, he's going to be a great one. There's no doubt about it. Scola thinking about it. 4 seconds. Knocked away by Boone. Jefferson gives it up to Harris. Harris draws contact. And the foul is called on McGrady. So everybody in that lineup for Houston has a foul except for Battier.
Well, Bill and Clyde, I'm watching Luis Scola, and he's very hesitant to shoot that 15 to 18-foot jump shot. He's passed it up 3 times tonight already. He's got to shoot that ball, because when he turns it over like he did, that just starts a fast break for the Nets.
Exactly, but he has Carter on him and Boone, 2 pretty good defensive players. He can't just blow by those guys. So I agree with Matt. He's got to shoot the wide open jumper.
Harris came over in that big trade on the 19th of February. Harris, Clinton Hassel, Mari Sager, Zagana Diop, and Keith Van Horn just came along to collect a $4.5 million check, and then he went back home.
That's good work if you can get it.
All of that for Jason Kidd, plus a couple of number 1 draft choices for New Jersey. There's Scola getting inside and scoring. He has 4 points.
Very comfortable getting the shot he wanted.
I thought Richard Justice had a good article on Scola in the Chronicle today. Did you read that?
No, I did not.
When you go home, read it. It talks about the great deal the Rockets did to get him. Battier in the corner a little short.
I was rained out on the golf course today, so.
Well, good for you.
Not a good day.
Got to take Monday off. This is blocked by Mutombo. Carter will put it up. He'll miss it. And the loose ball goes to Rafer on the run. Rafer trying to make a difficult pass to Scola, and it's knocked away, and it'll be Houston's ball. We have a timeout on the court, 5:53, and for the Rockets during this winning streak, it starts with defense, none better than Dikembe Mutombo. 3 rebounds and 2 blocks. And yes, indeed, the Rowdies are saying, let's witness history where the Rockets are. But Deke, 41 years old, going on 31, now has 3,248 blocks, number 2 all-time, behind the great Hakeem Olajuwon.
I tell you what, he's playing like a young man. Every year, whenever he's called upon, he produces. I love that about Mutombo. He's ready to play.
Yeah, isn't that something? He sat on the bench all season long, and he stayed in shape.
That's called professionalism.
Rafer misses, and the rebound goes to Kristich. He's a 7-footer.
That's not in his range.
Nope.
He's a reluctant 3-point shooter.
Harris shooting only 31% on the season from the 3-point line.
But that's the shot Matt and I were talking about. Scola's wide open. He can knock that down.
Shot clock at 6, down to 5, and Rafer will put it up. That's short. So the Nets are really playing the Rockets in the half-court defense pretty well.
For them, excellent.
Yeah. They don't, the Nets average 94 points a game, but give up 99. And a foul is called on Rafer, and that's his 2nd foul of the game. Remember, he got in foul trouble early in that game against New Orleans.
Now, Clyde, to follow up on what you were talking about, you got to take what the defense is giving you. The Nets are kind of packing it in, and they're giving the Rockets that jump shot from the power forward spot. What the Rockets are doing, they're banging their head against the Nets defense instead of just taking what's available.
Good point, Bull. And then they're not getting what they want, and then the shot clock is going down, so they're forced to put up some wild shot when they had a wide open shot at the 12-second mark.
Zagana Diop will come in now for Josh Boone. And Diop, you folks will remember, played some quality minutes for the Dallas Mavericks.
Oh, he was a starter and a very productive member of a team that won 67 games last season.
Yeah, he was very active inside, and he's a good shot blocker. 7 feet tall. And McGrady is fouled on the pass-off. That's the 4th team foul on the Nets. So both teams will be in the penalty for the final 4:46. The Nets will have Marcus Williams out of UConn checking into the game. Young guard in his 2nd year in the NBA. He'll be guarding Bobby Jackson. Jefferson over guarding McGrady. McGrady gets it inside, has it blocked. A lot of contact, no whistle.
Wow, a lot of contact for no call.
Inside to Jefferson. Hangs in the air, and Mutombo again was standing in his way. Mount Mutombo. You got the Great Wall of Yao, and now Mount Mutombo is taking the Great Wall's place.
Defensively, yes.
Yeah, you got
offensively, you got no chance.
That's true. Jackson misses. The Rockets not shooting the ball particularly well here in the first quarter.
And one thing you can't afford to do is let an inferior team hang around at home.
Carter blocked by Mutombo, his 3rd block already in the game. Nenad Kristic puts it up and in. Kristic is a 7-footer. Out of Serbia and Montenegro. 18% shooting by the Nets, 38% shooting by Houston. Pass inside to Scola. Back outside. Battier takes aim and misses. The Rockets were on fire in that last game against New Orleans. They made a season high in that game of 14-3.
Tell you what, both of those guys were on fire. That game was played at a very high level.
It's another block by Mutombo, and he loses the ball. Shane Battier gives it up to Bobby Jackson. 3-on-1 fast break. Scola to the basket for 2. Mutombo, they can't climb over him.
Tell you what, he changes everything on the interior of the paint. Points in the paint. Rockets leading the Nets 12-2.
Blocked by Mutombo, and they call goaltending on Deke. Boy, it was close.
They continue to bring it in. They're not afraid.
Big lineup by the Nets now. Kristic and Jop, a couple of 7-footers inside. One thing you can do with Houston is try to get bigger than they are. Battier misses. I thought he got hit on the arm that time, and an alley-oop to Jefferson on the fast break. And the Nets right back in it, down by 2, 15-13. So the Rockets, cold shooting, the Nets have been able to hang around. Remember, the Rockets scored only 20 points against New Orleans Saturday night
In the first period.
first quarter, and then 39 in the second.
Tell you what, the Nets are still getting that ball up and down the court without Jason Kidd.
Scola hits. Now, he was reluctant to take that earlier.
But they're packing the defense, so he has to take that shot. And he can make it, he just got to want to do it.
Marcus Williams guarded by Bobby Jackson. Jefferson coming off a pick. Tough shot.
Vince Carter.
Carter, I'm sorry.
He's the master of making those one-legged, off-balance, Bobby Dandridge type jumpers.
He really is. He's been a terrific player for many, many years in the league. He and Tracy, of course, as I said, were cousins, and they started together at Toronto. So Tracy signed that big free agent contract to go back home to Orlando. There's a miss. It hit on the top, and it goes out of bounds. So we have a timeout. 1:23 left to play in the first quarter. And the Rockets are up, but only by 2. The defense, Bart, which is a little bit unusual. They give up 99, but look at the 4 blocks already by Mutombo.
Well, he will do that.
Hayes will check in for him.
Get it out of here. Not in my house. Well, I tell you what, he's still a force. Still one of the better shot blockers in the league.
Vince Carter got it into Zagana Jop, and he ran right over Luis Scola. Scola is so good at getting position underneath, among the many other things he does well.
And Zagana Jop really not known for his offensive prowess.
No. Steve Novak in the game for Houston. See if he can get him out of that tightly packed defense.
Yeah, you see Novak's on the court because the Nets have gone big. Chuck Hayes is playing the 5 and Novak's playing the 3.
Good point, Matt.
Always good when your 3-man can knock down some threes.
Well, that's the way the second quarter started against New Orleans on Saturday. He came in and hit 3 of his first 4 shots. There's a miss. Hayes, Jop gets it over Hayes, puts it up, misses, and the rebound by Chuck Hayes. He's 6'6", he's used to guarding 6'10", 6'11 players, and he did Saturday night.
Jop is 17 and good guy.
T-Mac is fouled. In the act of shooting, he'll get 2.
Mutombo's 4 blocks ties the season high, which he's done 3 times this season.
Yep.
He's automatic. He's going to get you 4 or 5 blocks, 4 or 5 intimidations, 10, 11 rebounds, and the finger. That's kind of an automatic.
Tracy McGrady has he's been shut out from the field. He's 0 for 3, but he's 3 for 3 from the free throw line for his 3 points. 8 for Scola to start the game in the first 12 minutes. That's the nice thing the Rockets have is Novak to pull those teams out of those defenses when they get packed in there. He's a nice weapon to have.
Great zone buster. Who you gonna call?
Yeah, call Steve.
Novak.
He's got to play a little defense on the other end, but he's improved in that area also. Steal by Bobby Jackson. 3 seconds, down to 2, down to 1. Jackson throws it up, and it's short. Thought he got fouled, did not get the whistle. So the Rockets ended the quarter on a 5-0 run, and after the first 12 minutes, the Rockets 22, the Nets 15. And in the defensive categories, the Rockets are really playing great defense around the league.
Yes, they are.
Look at that right there. That's stingy.
Top 5 in every category.
Going to the basket. McGrady, very tough in there. No whistle.
You know, you guys are talking about the defense for the Rockets. There's a lot more possessions in a Rockets game this year than there was last year too. To play much more up tempo.
That's a good point, Bull.
It makes it more difficult to hold teams to lower points.
But the ability, the plus-minus ratio, the margin of victory, night after night, that's what tells the story.
And Scola with the shot, he's knocked down. He'll shoot 2.
Don't you hate when you foul somebody with your face?
Yeah, that's very tough.
That hurts.
It looks like he fouled Scola with his face, right on Scola's shoulder.
Well, for Carter, that's his second foul. Jop has 2. And Jefferson will come back into the game. And now Carter's got some words with Scola. And a technical foul has been called on both. Scola said, "What did I do? I was standing at the free throw line."
Scola didn't say anything. That's what happened when you have a confrontation with a superstar. You both get technical.
So Jefferson will come in for Carter. And Vince, 2 for 6 from the field. He has 4 points and 3 rebounds. Scola way too easy on that one. He was too hard on the first one, too easy on the second. About the only weakness for Scola might be his free throw shooting, 63%. The Rockets are not a good free throw shooting team. What a block inside.
Well, that's why this team is so good, because when you bring it in the paint, they don't get the charge. They'll try to block.
Novak in and out, and Scola with a loose ball foul.
Scola gets after it. There you see him laughing. He never gives up on an offensive rebound. I'm still trying to figure out what did he do to deserve that technical.
Williams and Hassel. Jop setting the pick. Steal by Scola. All the way to the basket. Williams steals it back. Wow, what a play. 2 great defensive plays. Back to back. Quentin Hassel was also with Dallas several weeks ago. Cross court to Boki Nakbar, who started his career here in Houston. And McGrady with a rebound.
Nakbar, one of the better three-point shooters in the league. You got to get on him. Make him put it on the floor.
Brady and Jefferson. Now Niscola leans in, shoots and misses. Rushed it. He had plenty of time. Got a smaller man on him, but he took it up a little too quick.
He seems to be short-arming his free throws as well as his layups. Just go ahead and shoot it in your natural rhythm.
Jefferson. Brady's bring that challenge now to guard Jefferson. There's Jop to the middle for two. I thought he was the best center on the Dallas team.
Oh, by far. Well, there's only two guys, he and Dampier. That's an easy choice.
Dampier playing a lot of minutes now. Oh, backdoor alley-oop, and McGrady missed it.
Wow, the Rockets seem to be playing a little tight here.
Rockets 0 for 5 to start this second quarter.
Just a couple of point-blank layups.
Well, when your shooting's off, it's good to have good defense.
Absolutely.
You got to keep playing that. That's something that's constant. And there it is. A steal by McGrady. And he was grabbed that time by Jefferson. And he kicked the ball out of bounds. And Kemak really frustrated. Did you see Jefferson grab him by the arm?
I did.
Well, the referees didn't. And we have a timeout on the court. Right now, the Rockets struggling to score, but they're keeping the Nets from scoring. 22-17. Youngster the Rockets just signed a couple of days ago out of Rice. He was signed as a free agent this summer and went to summer camp with the Rockets and then played very well in the preseason. Went over to China to play and was one of their leading players in China. And then when that season was over, the Rockets remembered where he was. They re-signed him and brought him here for more depth. He's a good rebounder.
Hard-working player with nice skill level.
Yeah, kind of a Carl Landry type.
A smaller Landry is what he is.
Williams from the outside with a miss and the rebound by Harris. He'll get that ball. He's got a nose for the basketball. Landry, by the way, got great news today. He went down to Dr. Andrews in Birmingham, Alabama. They checked his knee out and said it was strong structurally.
That is very good news.
Oh, well, guess what? Steve Novak hits again.
That is not surprising to me.
The Rockets may be cold, but Landry always is hot. Rockets during this winning streak have shot the ball at a 48% clip. Tonight, they're shooting only 33%. Hassel back to Jefferson. Jefferson with the miss, and Hayes with the rebound.
Look at the good defense, forcing the Nets into a bad shot.
Harris back to Jackson. Still 12 seconds on the shot clock for the Rockets. Harris going to run a little pick and roll with Bobby. And Jackson up and in.
And high pick and roll is very effective against the Nets with Bobby Jackson shooting from the outside.
Bobby Jackson also a trader. They traded with New Orleans for him, sending Bonzi. Mike over there, Minnesota, for 10-year veteran Bobby Jackson. Jop runs it down. Inside Jop, blocked by Battier. Oh my goodness. Rockets are number 4 in the NBA in shot blocks. That ought to go up tonight. Average 5 a game. They've already got 7. Bobby Jackson from the deep corner with a miss.
Shane Battier not known for his shot blocking ability, but he is second on this team after Yao Ming in block shots.
Yeah, he's got 76 this season. And that basket, that was a cagey little move that time by Marcus Williams. So he laid it up and under for 2 and the foul. As Rafer Alston will check in, Josh Boone will come in. Indiana Jop will go in. Marcus Williams was a good player at UConn a couple of years ago.
Yes, he was. The number 1 pick by the Nets.
And then they drafted another Williams this year, number 1, Sean Williams out of Boston College.
Had a year and a half to learn his tutelage under Jason Kidd. So Marcus Williams, I think he could be ready for prime time.
Luther Head will check into the game. And Novak will go out, so it'll be Alston, Luther Head, Battier, Mike Harris, and the Chuck Wagon, Chuck Hayes. So a very small Houston lineup. 6'6" is going to be your biggest Rocket player. Josh Boone at 6'10", and also the Nets are small. 8 seconds on the shot clock. Play for Alston from deep. Deep.
That outside shot is huge, Bill, especially when you're struggling from the field. When you can make threes, you can pick up a lot of ground.
Play for Alston has come from about 37% during the streak to 41% shooting from the outside. And Williams from the parking lot with a miss. And look at Harris get up and get that rebound. Now, that guy can really jump.
Yes, he can. He's an athlete. 6'6".
Out of bounds by New Jersey, and Devin Harris will check in for Williams.
Just like Carl Landry, Harris has a lot of go-get-it in it.
Yeah.
They will go get it. They don't wait for the rebound to come to them. They will go get it.
Well, again, talking about Landry, the swelling is down now. They say that the knee is structurally sound. They will work him out a couple more days. As Harris takes it in, and he draws the foul from knockball. So that's good news, and we expect Carl Landry to be back by the middle of the week. But right now, Mike Harris is still
his destination and date. Then log on to southwest.com/FSN to enter to win 2 round-trip tickets to any of Southwest Airlines' 64 destinations. Well, the Rockets playing some great defense during this winning streak, and again tonight. And for an example of that, let's go up to the bullseye with Matt Bullard.
Yeah, the Rockets are holding the Nets to 20 points. The Nets only shooting 24%. We'll go ahead and let this play run a little bit. As it's going, let's watch Shane Battier. He's following a cutter over the top, and then Novak's got to follow a cutter coming in. But watch Novak and Mike Harris. Here comes Mike Harris off a pick. Novak and Harris, they switch. They're the same size, so they're able to switch. So then on the strong side, watch Battier. He's playing some defense. Bobby Jackson with the help. That is great defense by the Rockets. They're all about the same size, so they can switch, they can help, they rotate out, and they're holding the Nets to 24% shooting.
Yeah, that's good to show. We don't get to show a lot of defense sometimes, Clyde, but that's so important.
Yeah, you know, there's a reason they're good is because they understand how to communicate as a team. And when you talk it up and you can switch, you're very dangerous.
I'll tell you, T&T talks about the czar of the telestrator, Mike Fratello. Nobody beats our Matt Bullard.
Oh, I love the bullseye. Come on.
The bullseye's got it. He's got it. Got a whistle underneath on Houston. Harris, the leading scorer in Rice basketball history. They had Ricky Pierce there and some pretty good players. Mike was a good player for Willis Wilson at Rice. And he's really happy to be here. And the coaches think that, you know, as he gets more minutes, he's going to stick in the NBA eventually.
He is. He's got the right attitude. The guy's got great size. He's got an NBA body. And I like his effort. When you put forth that type of effort with his kind of talent, it makes him a pretty darn good player.
Yeah, what I remember from the preseason practices and games that he played in, how tough he was. I mean, he really is perfect for this Houston team. And he's obviously a pretty smart guy.
Yeah, he's got to be. Rice University.
Inside, Harris gets it back, picks it up, misses.
His standards are almost the same as U of H's.
That's right. I'm glad you pointed that out. Traveling is called on Luther Head. He never had possession of the ball. How do you travel?
That's a good question.
Put a fresh 24 up for the Nets. 5:20 left to play in the quarter of this very low-scoring game.
The Nets, their offense is unpredictable. They seem to be out of sorts, and it's basically because the Rockets' defense is so good.
Richard Jefferson from the outside, and they're only getting one shot now. As Hayes has come in and really controlled the boards. Chuck had a great game against New Orleans.
Yes, he did.
He's getting more minutes now that Landry's out too, and Chuck has been doing that all season long. They go to Harris now. He turns, fires, misses. Harris takes it inside, and he misses, and Hayes with a rebound. Boy, 22% shooting. This quarter only 10-7 in favor of Houston with 4.5 minutes left to play. Both teams, great pass inside to Luther Head.
That's that Rick Adelman offense. If you make a mistake defensively, they will punish you by getting layups all night long.
Chuck Hayes is usually the recipient of that pass as he goes to the basket, but that time he delivered it.
See, Luther makes a very hard cut. That's why he gets that.
Jefferson misses the three. 21% shooting by the Nets. Rockets defense is just as good as it comes. Back outside. Had to play the Texas triangle.
That's tough for anyone.
Three. And then they had to go to New Orleans. Rafer with the miss. Tipped over to Hayes. Rafer gets it. Fresh 24 for Houston. Battier back to Luther Head. Got it. Smart play by Battier. He knew that Luther Head has been making those threes, and he hasn't. So he shot it over to Luther Head, who had a wide open look. Timeout, New Jersey.
Rockets have opened up a 15-point lead here late in the second period. Well, Toyota Center is proud to welcome Walking with the Dinosaurs, the live experience to Houston, April 2nd through April 6th, locally presented by Children's Memorial Hermann Hospital. Come see 15 life-size dinosaurs roaming, roaring, and clashing before your eyes on the arena floor. This is a great exhibit. Kids love this. Tickets on sale now at ToyotaCenterTix.com. Well, the Rockets have opened up a 15-point lead, Bill, and in the process, they've allowed Tracy McGrady to get a nice long rest.
Yes, they have. This bench has really been doing a great job. There you take a look again at the top three winning streaks. The Lakers with 33, and that Gail Goodrich led the Lakers that year in points scored, not Wilt, not Jerry West. And remember, Elgin Baylor retired 5 games into that season. So he's on the roster, but he really retired. He didn't have anything to do with it. And then, of course, the Milwaukee team with Oscar, the Big O. And Lou Alcindor is what it said. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar now. And then the Lakers with Shaq and Kobe at the start of 2000, and that's 2000, and that's Phil Jackson.
Shaq, Kobe, and Robert Ory.
Yeah, that's right, Robert. Steal. Luther Head's got to beat Boki Nakbar. Gives it off to Rafer Alston for 2. And the Rockets fast break again.
That great defense leads to easy transition buckets. Textbook Rockets basketball.
Back outside to Vince Carter. He misses and knocked out of bounds by Josh Boone. Nenad Kristic will check into the game, and Boki Nakbar will go out. So a big lineup again for Lawrence Frank. Kristic at 7 foot, Josh Boone at 6'10". Rockets will stay with Harris and Hayes. Head, Alston, and Battier.
Pick and roll again with Luther Head.
Inside for 2. Mike Harris. The guy knows how to score. A 14-2 run now by Houston.
Yeah, Harris. All of this while T-Mac is getting a nice rest.
Josh Boone inside, and he pulled the trigger on that, and a loose ball foul on Chuck Hayes.
But you know what, Bill? He deserves it because last game against the Hornets, he played 48 minutes. So,
well, I was going to ask you just a moment ago, and I forgot. And does 48 minutes, does that affect you in your next game?
Oh, absolutely. Are you kidding? That's like playing 2 games.
Did you play 48 minutes ever?
A couple of times. But we had 2 or 3 days in between, so you could do it.
Carter, very smart, heard the whistle, kept the shot going, and he drew the foul.
He's got so much hang time, Bill.
Yeah, that's right.
They got the hang time of Vince Carter. He's fouled, lets everybody come down, and then he shoots it over him.
He had 32 points against the Rockets in their first meeting in New Jersey, but he hasn't had a lot of big scoring games. He hasn't been over 20 points now in quite a while. He has talked to a few people about maybe getting traded out of New Jersey. Bad pass.
Yeah.
Turnover Houston.
Right at the feet. Even though Harris is a small guy, still got to give him a good pass around the chest area.
Only one of the Houston Dynamo would have been able to handle that. Vince Carter. And a foul is called on Chuck Hayes. And that's number 3 on Chuck.
Chuck has got to be careful as we're still in the first half.
5th team foul on the Rockets. The Nets have only 2 team fouls. So Rudy now will have to look inside, and T-Mac will have to come in. T-Mac was having a good time over there getting some rest, and now that foul by Hayes, and Tracy will come back into the game, and so will Scola. So Luther Head will go out along with Mike Harris. So they're going to leave Hayes in the game, even though he had... Well, no, they changed it. He's got 2 fouls now. Who'd they give that other one to?
Good question. I thought it was Chuck Wagon. Harris.
No, they gave it to Luther. Hayes raised his hand. T-Mac to the right. 43-27 Houston.
And that's his first field goal of the game.
Yep. Well, we said before the game he's doing whatever is necessary. You know, if the team needs him to score, he scores. If they don't, he passes, plays defense, rebounds, block shots. He's got a block tonight. I like it. Vince Carter from the outside. Long rebound. Rockets had good position, but it came out to Christie. Harris taking it in. There's Hayes stripping the ball, and he gave it up to Harris and then fouled him. Boy, that's a dangerous to pass to a guy under the other team's basket, and that's what got Chuck in trouble. And now that's his 3rd foul of the game.
Watch the high pick and roll with Devin Harris. Chuck with the great hands makes the steal, but get it from up under that basket. You got 2 guys there.
Yeah.
Very careless by Chuck Hayes.
Well, he just didn't see the guy behind Rafer Alston. Now Harris will come right back into the game. Harris at the line. Harris coming in for Houston. So Devin Harris will have 1 more. Mike Harris, Scola, and Battier for Houston underneath.
That's 3. There's no denying that one, Chuck Wagon.
Harris gets 1 out of 2. Under a minute left to play in the second quarter. Rockets should get 2 possessions out of this.
At least.
8 seconds, down to 7. McGrady takes it inside and just missed the basket. That's only the 14th foul in the net, so the Rockets will bring it in.
Well, now they got to go 2 for 1. 14 seconds.
McGrady picked up by Boki Nakbar. Brady back outside to Rafer. Extra pass in the corner to Battier. Great job by Rafer Alston. He wanted to get Shane a field goal, and he got him one. Rockets now 5 of 12 behind the arc for 41%.
This team makes the extra pass, and when you're winning, that's the reason. They're very unselfish.
They really are. Fun to watch.
Yes.
This is truly a team, and they're not a bunch of individuals. They've been brought together as a team. It's kind of old-fashioned, isn't it?
Yes, it is. This is team basketball at its finest.
It's fun to watch, and I think that's why they're so popular right now with the city of Houston. They love this type of basketball. McGrady, Harris, and Nakbar with a rebound. So the Rockets hold the Nets to only 16% shooting in the second quarter. That's a low for a Rocket opponent this season. The Nets made only 3 of 19 shots. This Toyota Center here tonight. He worked closely with Leslie Alexander to get this building built. Remember when they had the referendum? And he is a season ticket holder, has been forever, and he's one of our biggest fans. So
Made it happen.
Yeah, happy birthday. 83 years young.
A Houston legend. Love him. Great guy as well. Just love it. Super individual.
One of the most approachable people I've ever been around for someone who was a mayor and worked so hard in the community.
Yes.
Around the corner. Battier set up in the corner for another three, and the Rockets now just keep pouring it on with those three-pointers. That's back-to-back threes for Shane Battier.
That's a great way to start the half.
I'll say.
Well executed play.
Inside ball strip. McGrady's got it. He's got Scola on the wing, Rafer on another wing. Battier's down underneath. He'll work on Vince Carter. Should win that battle. There it is. Oh, left-handed hook shot. Thought he was fouled. Carter back the other way. Attacks Mutombo. He ought to know better. Carter takes it in again. Missed it. Mutombo right there. And now Boone with a charge. Look at that Rockets defense. Now Mutombo is standing tall, and the rest of the Rockets are climbing right up his back.
But what the Rockets do is, when a big guy brings it in, if they don't dig it out before you get it up, Mutombo's going to get it once you get it up. Watch Battier here. Mutombo does a great job of blocking that, and then Battier takes a charge. But Mutombo, if he wouldn't have taken a charge, Mutombo would have blocked it. So that's how they get you.
That's a new season high for Dikembe Mutombo, 5 block shots.
Tell you what, he's intimidated about 4 more. That should be a new stat. Intimidation.
The most blocks, in case you're wondering. Back outside to Battier. That's going to be a backcourt violation on Houston. The most blocks Mutombo had in a game has been, 12? 12. And that was 15 years ago. He might have 12 tonight if they keep going to the basket.
Oh, yeah, he can still do it. The key is, will they continue to attack him? Normally, when a guy gets that many blocks, you start shooting from the outside.
Yeah, or closing your eyes.
Leave him alone.
Devin Harris, nice crossover move to the basket and got it. That's the quickness of Devin Harris.
You know, he's become a better finisher at the basket. The first couple of years, he could get by you. He could get there, but he couldn't finish it. Now he can finish.
And a kick ball by the Nets. I just wonder how much Avery Johnson had to do with trading him, because he spent so much time tutoring Devin Harris.
Yes, he did.
And then to have to trade him, that must have broken his heart.
You know, that's the hard part of the game. Because, you know, these guys are like your brothers. You're around them so much. And when one of them leaves, as a coach or teammate, it hurts. Because it's like a part of your family that's leaving.
Dallas has had a little problem adjusting the Jason Kidd on the run. That's tough to do. We saw Phoenix finally adjusted to Shaq. They played better defense yesterday in beating San Antonio. So San Antonio back-to-back losses to Denver and Phoenix.
Did you see Shaq jump in the stand?
That
was funny. That was funny.
And Denver has a 3-point lead on San Antonio tonight in the Alamo City. Ball knocked out of bounds by the Nets.
San Antonio seems to be fading, and the Rockets like that, and we like that.
And the Lakers lost last night to Sacramento. Richard Jefferson takes off to the other end for 2.
No one back. That rarely happens on this Rocket team. They always protect the back of their defense to stop transition.
6-0 run now by the Nets. Brady steps back, fires, hits.
Oh, you shouldn't treat your cousin that way.
Punished him pretty good. I thought Carter played pretty good defense on T-Mac.
He did.
Josh Boone short arms it.
Josh Boone has got to work on his outside shot. He's missed some easy ones. Hadn't even come close.
T-Mac with a give-and-go dribble drew the foul. I think one of the things that's so hard to adjust to in the pros is changing pace on the dribble. And that's one thing the great ones have. They give you that little okey-doke and then go right by you, and that's what Tracy did then.
Well, he's so quick and he's so deceptive, and he's got a great handle with the ball that he looked him away like he was not going to continue to go, but he did.
Yeah.
And that's how he created the foul.
All the great ball handlers seem to be able to change speeds off the dribble.
That's part of it, because you have to be able to create space from your defender, and that's one great way of doing it. Change your pace. You can't go at one speed all the time. You're going to be easy to defend.
T-Mac's been working on those free throws. He's perfect tonight, 6 of 6. He has 12 points, 6 in this quarter. He's been doing a good job of getting the Rockets involved early in the third quarters. They've come out of the locker room really playing well. Kristich taking it in, can't get anywhere on Scola, and a steal by Battier. Here's Rafer on the run. Rafer up to Scola, trying to reward him, and a turnover. Carter backcourt to Jefferson, and that shows you the athletic ability we have talked about. And a technical foul
on Richard Jefferson. And Joey Crawford said, come on, bring it here. Bring it to me.
Well, he's saying, you can talk to me if you want to. I'll talk to you if you want to be civil to me. That's what Joey was saying. He wasn't saying bring it here. He said, he's telling him now, he says, now look, you want to go to the locker room and get an early rest, or do you want to stay out here with us?
That's probably what he's telling him. Joey is approaching. You can talk to him. I've always liked that about him.
If you've earned the right.
He doesn't respect the young guy.
Well, if you're a young guy giving him lip, you're out.
You're out of here.
Yeah, the older guys can get away with it.
Maybe. If they're nice.
I'm not going to tell you T-Mac missed that technical free throw because I must have jinxed him.
Oh, kiss of death. You know that. Barber will call.
He'll be calling me again. Green behind his back. Brady wide open. Went back to the three-point line. Rafer. Oh no, Mutombo! Well, if that had gone in, this place would have exploded.
I'd rather see the hook.
Not from there.
Oh yeah, you got a better chance.
That's cold-blooded. Harris takes it in for two.
You know he will say, man, I heard what you said.
He doesn't care anymore.
No, he knows I love him.
He doesn't care anymore. Never seen anyone who enjoys life and gives back any more than he receives.
Marshall is a great humanitarian.
Yes, indeed. Shane Battier. He's feeling it tonight. 3 threes for Shane. 9 points, 8 for Scola, 12 for McGrady, 10 for Alston, 8 for Hayes, 6 for Novak. Rockets have spread the wealth. Kristich from the outside.
Kristich trying to get something going from the outside because it's not happening on the inside.
Kristich coming off a season where he had some knee problems and got a chance to be a pretty good big man in this league.
He had a great first year and then got hurt in the second year.
That's right. And Jefferson with the foul.
Number 24, Richard Jefferson.
There are very few shutdown players. The guys you can say, okay, now I'm going to put you on this other guy, shut him down. Jefferson is close to being one of those guys, but it's hard to guard McGrady.
Well, it's hard to guard any great offensive player, and the key word is great. Not good, great.
Shane
He's going to beat the double team.
Yeah, Shane has to do that night after night.
Yes, it's possible.
There's a turnover. Devin Harris. And the slam dunk.
Williams.
Yeah, Sean, he has started playing very well here of late. And I was surprised he didn't come in earlier. He's really a nice player out of Boston College.
He started off the season playing really good, and then he's hit that rookie wall.
Rafer Alston never picked up his dribble. There's a blocked shot. The Nets have it in a speed they like now. They're really kind of hully-gully in the game.
So they're trying to get their rhythm. And Rick Adelman saying, hold up, slow it down, let's get this thing under control.
This shot from the outside by Battier. 8-3 run now by the Nets. Under 5 minutes. Kristich knocked away by McGrady. 8 seconds. Nice catch by Lawrence Frank. Just in time for the timeout. 4:48 left to play in the third quarter. Rockets up 58-42 on FSN Houston. A deadlock for second place if San Antonio loses tonight and the Rockets win, and then the Rockets would have their sights set on the Lakers. Can you believe Back on January 29th, the Rockets were in 10th place on the outside looking in. And since then, in this winning streak, they have been red hot in 08, the hottest team in the NBA.
January 3rd, we were 2 games over 500, too. There's a reason.
Vince Carter hits the basket now, and a good run by the Nets as they cut it down to 14 points. Rockets were up by 23.
Rockets running the offense through Tracy McGrady. That's what they do when they want to score.
That's goaltending. Called on Sean Williams.
But Bill, I got to tell you how good you feel when an organization is winning. It's because you got quality people in management positions.
Yep.
And it starts with Rocket owner Les Alexander, all the way to Daryl Morey, Carol Dawson, and Phil Consulting. Good people all around.
Yeah, Daryl Morey put this team together in the summer. And, of course, wait a minute, Joey Crawford is calling a technical foul on somebody. Kevin Harris is called for a loose ball foul.
Oh, yeah.
I thought he called a technical. Well, since January the 1st, talking about 08 being great, 27-4 for the Rockets. Utah would normally be getting all the plaudits. But the Rockets are ahead of them, and look at the Lakers.
Rockets are still in their thunder, and for good reason. This is a great franchise. The team is playing at a very high level, and it starts from the defensive end.
T-Mac with the basket.
Well, I think the biggest difference with this team is they are able to score points continuously.
22nd timeout taken by Lawrence Frank. Now he wants a full timeout, so we're just under 4 minutes left to play. Third quarter, and the Rockets have bumped that lead back.
A chance to go. No purchase necessary. See WrigleyHoops.com for details and free entries. Void where prohibited. Sweepstakes ends April 30th, 2008. Well, this game's sort of reminiscent of Saturday's game against the Hornets. Every time New Orleans made a little mini run, the Rockets would answer right back, and that's what they're doing tonight, Bill.
Well, the fans want to go back to Clutch City. They remember those great back-to-back championship teams. Clyde Drexler on that second one.
I like that. Yeah. Clutch City worked for us.
It worked well, didn't it? Let's go back to it.
Let's go right. We believe.
You know, Leslie Alexander came up with that because the headlines earlier had been Choke City. And Les said, well, why don't we call it Clutch City? And that's in the name of the Clutch City Foundation. And that's what the Rockets franchise was built on.
Give Les all the credit. Very smart man.
He got caught up in it. He's the biggest fan, you know. He's an owner, but he's the biggest fan. He doesn't sit behind the team bench.
No, but he knows a lot about this game. Trust me.
Like you know who.
He's not Mark Cuban.
No,
thank God he's not.
He runs the team well, and that article this morning gave Les a lot of credit, of course, for helping with the Scola team. Nice basket.
You know, he's been on that type of owner who'll do anything necessary to bring a winner to this city.
He told Daryl Morey, he said, you get it done, I don't care what it takes. But if you want Scola, go get it.
That's great leadership. We were both in the war room when he said that.
Yeah. To give up a lot of money to get him, $10 million. With different deals being made, but he got his man, Louis Scola. And that added then Daryl Morey said, well, let's bump up to number 1 in the second round and pick this kid Carl Landry from Purdue. Well, a lot of people, Rockets people knew who Carl Landry was, but not a lot of other folks did. They kind of brushed it off, but the Rockets knew what they got. And they developed him, and they worked with him.
It didn't take long to see the dividends. And give credit where credit is due. Right there at the leadership position.
And what's good, you're not an old team now. You didn't make a lot of deals like Dallas and Phoenix where you're older. You still have a future. You're winning now, but you have a future.
They have nothing but upside.
And you'll have Yao Ming coming back, who's still only 28 years old.
Right, and Tracy's still young.
Tracy's still under 30.
I like it. For many years to come, this team will be a force to reckon with. And you and I will be right here talking about it and having fun.
I hope so. I'm having fun this season. I think the fans are too. Everywhere I go around Houston now, people are talking about how much fun it is to watch the Rockets because
Exactly.
They're about all the old virtues that we discarded a long time ago. Teamwork, chemistry, those types of things. Yeah, hustle, hard work.
And not only that, more people calling me for tickets. So you guys, we told you, Bill and I told you it would happen.
That's right. We said earlier
Get
this
your
year.
tickets early.
Don't call us now. Get on the bandwagon, though. There's still plenty of room, right?
Absolutely. I hadn't been answering my phone because of that.
Still plenty of... You never answer your phone. Your mother has to text you.
I answer it.
When she calls you, brother. There's a miss. T-Mac having a good quarter. He's got 8 points. Over 10. T-Mac with 10 of Houston's 22.
That's not a set play. That's just Tracy McGrady creating.
That's the T-Mac play.
Exactly. Give it to him and let him go. I like it.
Jefferson. Brady has picked up Jefferson, and when he hasn't, it's been Battier. They've really done a good job on him. There's Kristich taking it down low, and Battier comes away with it. Great hustle by Houston. Draper on the push. Look at the Rockets joining the run. Grady gets a double team. That leaves Scola open. He's pushed from behind by Harris. Williams also got a hand in. That's the 14th foul on the Nets. And Scola will shoot.
Right into the camera.
Come on,
Look
Greg.
at that. Wow. That's called a nice angle.
Boy, he hangs in there, doesn't he?
Greg stands there and takes the charge. He doesn't flinch.
I think he's still got those youthful legs. I don't know. He's been doing it for years, though. Yeah, I think you folks are very fortunate on FSN that you've got some of the best technicians and camera people in the country, and Greg would stack up with ABC and CBS, any of the big guys. He can do it.
But all of our guys would.
Yep.
The best in the business. We're lucky.
And I'm unhappy to report that ABC will be in here Sunday to cover the Lakers-Houston game. That game has been moved to 2:30 Sunday afternoon for a national telecast.
It's going to be a great game.
Yeah, I was looking forward to doing it. Good defense again by Houston at the basket. McGrady from the parking lot. Team for three. And the Rockets now are pouring it on. McGrady with a 13-point quarter. He's got 19, and that's how quickly he can explode.
I tell you what, he started 0 for 6, but since then, he's 6 for 7.
Yeah.
Talk about stepping it up.
John Williams. Oh, boy, did you see Carter get up there and dunk that? He can still make some spectacular plays.
Still very athletic. He's still young. He's only 30 years of age. He's a kid.
Oh, McGrady from way downtown, and the loose ball foul on Scola. 3 fouls on Luis. That's only the second team foul, but it's the first team foul under a minute left to play, and so both teams will be in the penalty now for the final 23+ seconds. Shot clock is off, so Jersey can go for the final shot.
They're going 1-4 flat.
Marcus Williams will let the air out of it. Now they'll look. I pick and roll. Romile Swift is checked into the game. Williams with a left-handed jumper. He misses. So the Rockets go on a 12-3 run to end the third quarter. And here we go to the final 12 minutes. The Rockets going for 19 in a row.
Did you notice that the Nets have not scored over 20 points in any of the 3 quarters?
Pretty amazing, huh?
Consistent defense.
A blocking foul called on Chuck Hayes. And for Chuck, that's his 5th foul of the game.
I think the refs are starting to feel sorry for Chuck Hayes. Wow, that was close.
Richard Jefferson with only 11 points. He's 4 of 11. 3 of 12 for Kristich. 0 for 5 for Boone. Carter 5 for 15. Devin Harris 3 for 10. That's what the Rockets will do to your shooting percentages, as Mike Harris now will come in for Chuck Hayes.
And they do it collectively. They're all over you. They swarm to the ball.
The Nets have shot only 27% in this game. So the Rockets shooting 45%. And that's under what they've been doing during the streak, but when you shut the other team down the way they're doing it, they don't have to shoot that way.
The Rockets, even though their defense has been stellar, they're continuing to put points on the board.
What do you think? Can Steve Novak shoot or what?
That would be a yes.
3 for 4 behind the arc for Novak. Rockets again with 9 3-pointers. 50% shooting behind the arc for Houston.
And the Nets have yet to make a three.
Hey, guys, I heard that Rick Adelman told Novak he was going to start fining Novak if he started pump faking and not shooting.
That's what you do to good shooters.
That's a lot like what Rudy used to tell me. Rudy would tell me, if you put the ball on the floor, I'm taking you out.
And, Matt, that improves your confidence, doesn't it?
Oh, that's the way you handle a shooter. You got to give shooters confidence and tell them that, hey, when you're on the court, you got to be shooting the ball for us. And Novak is one of the best in the league at shooting the threes.
But isn't it funny, Matt, how different guys are picking the Rockets up? Like with Carl Landry hurt the other night, Novak comes off the bench, hits his first 3 shots, Rockets are off and running.
That's what you got to have. You got to have your full team, stepping up at different times. And even like Mike Harris tonight, he's got 4 points and 4 rebounds and some pretty good minutes. So, that's the beauty of the Rockets team chemistry. Everyone's ready to play.
Good point. How about Novak? 7 minutes, 9 points.
Yeah.
Better than a point a minute.
That's what he did against New Orleans, too.
I like it.
I think in that New Orleans game, Novak played 9 minutes and had 8 points. Rockets ball. I guess slowly but surely now, fellas, since I have you all here, you and Matt, Clyde, compare this Rockets team to your teams, and I'm sure people are going to start asking you this because you won championships.
They are championship caliber, I will tell you that.
You really think so?
Yeah, I really believe that. And that's with or without Yao Ming because of the way that they're playing. Obviously, you'd like to have Yao healthy, but since that's not the case, these guys still have a fighting chance.
What do you think, Matt?
Rockets are playing great basketball for sure, and they're beating the bad teams, which is what you're supposed to do. But I think the 5-game stretch that starts with the LA Lakers, you got Boston, and you got Golden State and Phoenix, those 5 games coming up next week are really going to show me what the Rockets have in the tank for the playoffs. There's an upcoming schedule there.
Yeah, but that week you're talking about is a week from hell.
But guys, I really think we need to focus on finishing strong in the regular season and think about the playoffs when they arrive.
Of course, you want to have the home court advantage too, Clyde.
Exactly. That's why you got to take care of your regular season. They'll be here soon enough.
Of course, those championship teams, that first team had Otis Thorpe giving Akeem a lot of help. And then the Rockies shot the 3 very well. And then the second championship team had you, Clyde, along with Akeem.
Absolutely. They had good confidence, too.
There's a block. Well, Sean Williams is a great shot blocker. And Multi Knockbar is fouled at the basket.
He's listed at 6'10". He doesn't look that tall, but I tell you what, he gets up high.
He's had initial quickness on his first jump.
That second championship team, Bill, when you win, you have this confidence that you can do it. Why? Because you've done it. And so even though they were playing badly when I got here in February 15, 95, they still had the confidence of a champion.
You got to remember that Clyde, your team only won 47 games. You were the 6th seed in the playoffs. Yeah. But you turned it on at the right time. You were playing great basketball at the end of the season.
Well, that's just the way we drew it up.
Well, but you know one thing, too, Clyde? You guys did what nobody else will ever do again. You won 9 road games in the playoffs. Well, 9 road games.
When you get your offense clicking and your defense playing well together, those are the things you can do at home and on the road.
And I think, fellas, and correct me if I'm wrong here, but all of the teams right now, I think the top 6 or 7 teams in the West are good road teams, too.
Absolutely. And they're not afraid of each other.
They're not afraid of going on the road. I think Dallas has not played as well on the road this year. But everybody else can win on the other people's court.
Absolutely. Utah, Phoenix, San Antonio. They're all very good.
Rockets have, 11 in a row on the road, 11 wins in a row. Ones to their 13th win in a row at home.
Yeah, the LA Lakers are 22-11 at home, and they've got the best record on the road. 22-11 on the road. Phoenix is 19-12 on the road. The Rockets are 19-11 on the road.
Yeah. Omar Swift with a miss. He's up. Came from Memphis to Houston. Omar Swift, and then traded.
Couple times.
Mike Harris at the basket, gets the miss, puts it back up. That's how tough Mike Harris is. He fits right into that blue-collar work ethic by the Rockets.
He just doesn't give up. I love it.
Oh, no.
Relentless.
Rockets pouring it on now, 79-52. Wilkie not far from the outside with a miss. This is what the Rockets do to other teams. They just wear them down.
Wear them down, and they take away the inside, and then if they're not making their shots from the outside.
Brady with a big third quarter. He outscored Vince by 6. And Vince with a few more rebounds. T-Mac exploded in the third quarter and had the 13-point quarter. And Tracy saying, boy, I earned some minutes off tonight. Again, we show you what the Rockets are trying to do tonight. Be one of only 4 teams to have 19 or more wins. The Lakers with Shaq and Kobe, the Bucks with Oscar and Kareem, and the Lakers with Wilt Chamberlain, Jerry West, Jim McMillan. Remember McMillan?
They're trying to reach legendary status.
Happy Hairston. That was a team that...
You remember that?
Oh, yeah. 3 seconds on the shot clock. Bobby puts it up and misses. Harris tips it.
Keeps it
And
alive.
Novak with the rebound. Luther Head in the game now. Giving it up inside. And a block shot. Harris kept it alive. And a jump ball.
Mike Harris, he's giving up 4 inches to these guys.
Yeah.
He's a good athlete, but these guys are 6'10", and they're also good athletes.
Yeah, Harris has 6 rebounds to go along with 6 points. That's what we told you about.
As they would say, this is not Conference USA.
Yeah. But he was over in the CBA, the Chinese Basketball Association is where he played.
He's got a nice game.
And he averaged over 20 and 10 in the CBA.
Wow. That's good numbers anywhere, even if you're playing junior league.
Well, that's right. Rockets, the way there's Williams with the basket. The way the Rockets were structured, they had to let Mike go, but the coaches, they made sure to tell him how much they liked his game. And
well, as we cut you, we really like you now.
Well, you never had to hear that.
Thank God.
Go back to the miss.
But they brought it back.
Well, they did. They remembered. They kept his telephone number. And when the Rockets got deep into the streak, and then Yao Ming got hurt, then there was some shuffling around.
They made some good moves, I believe.
Chuck Hayes has played awfully well. Harris is going to play well. Hayes will come back in for Scola. So a great game for Luis. 34 minutes, 12 points, 5 rebounds. Another solid effort for Luis Scola.
He just gets it done night in and night out. And ever since he's been a starter, this has been a different Rockets team.
Well, Bill, you guys were talking about Mike Harris. He had one game in that Chinese Basketball Association where he scored 46 points and pulled down 26 rebounds. 46 and 26. I don't care if you're playing in the YMCA. That's impressive.
I agree, Bart.
Well, this is Steve Novak's career high. It was 10 against Utah. And now Novak with 11 points.
I don't care if you're playing against a group of 5th graders. Those are great numbers.
Yes, indeed. Oh, look at Luther Head with a steal. Takes it inside for 2.
Luther Head with a great anticipation.
And a timeout. a minute. Who called the timeout? He didn't call a timeout. To the Nets. 6:36 left to play.
09 season tickets before March 29th. To do that, you need to call 713-627-DUNK or visit Rockets.com today. Bill?
Well, you want to get those tickets and don't be late. Hey, the Rowdies spell 19.
I like it.
I think.
Got it right, too.
Boy, they're on the ball, aren't they?
Yes, they are.
Well, they're a big part of this. You know, you say what you want to from my perspective down here. They make enough noise to get the rest of the arena going, and they have to take credit for some of these wins. I mean, you know, they really get everybody going.
The best six-man in the entire league. I love it.
They've really enjoyed this. They get here early before the game. They stay late.
They stay real late. They have a party after every win. It is the place to be.
Well, right now the Rockets are talk of the town, and for the first time, we're going to see Justin Williams, another new signing, and Chuck Hayes goes out of the game. He wanted to play some more minutes.
Well, he hadn't played a whole lot up until now.
Chuck Hayes, another great performance. He had no points tonight, but he had 10 rebounds and 3 assists. He had just fouled out of the game and 2 blocks.
18 minutes.
Yeah.
Pretty good production.
Quentin Hassel came over from the Dallas Mavericks in that big trade. Dallas, he's getting some minutes now. Bobby Jackson. Give it up to Novak. Aaron Brooks prepares to come in for Jackson. Trying to save his legs. Side for the slam dunk. Great give and go as Harris went to the basket. And here comes Aaron Brooks. And Bobby Jackson will go out. Bobby hit a couple of key baskets. He had 5 points, 3 assists. The Rockets have assisted on 19 of their 31 baskets. That's something else the Rockets have been doing so well during the streak.
Yeah, good point. Their offense is spaced so well now. Their spacing is so much better.
Watch Dikembe Mutombo now as Harris goes up high.
Talk about enthusiastic for your teammates.
He's still in the game, isn't he?
Oh, yeah. Just shows you how in tune this team really is. I think their basketball IQ is also very, very high, collectively.
Yeah. And I think the higher your IQ is, the more successful you are in Rick's offense.
Absolutely. The easier you can make the game.
Rockets are so high in all categories. They're number 4 in opponents' points per game. They allow only 92 points a game. That'll go down tonight. They're number 2 in opponents' field goal percentage, 43%. Number 2 in rebounding. Number 10 in assists. That's up to 22 a game now. And they've had 3 games of 30 or more assists during this winning streak. And they're number 4 in block shots.
All great stats, all equal up to success. When you win, the stats show you why.
And they've come all the way up to number 5 in points per game differential, Clyde, which a lot of coaches think tells you who the best teams are.
I agree with that. That's the number 1 telltale stat most of the time.
Taking it inside to Justin Williams.
The one complaint I have about the point differential, Bill, is that the good teams, the starters don't play a lot in the fourth quarter. So if they really wanted to increase their point differential, they'd leave their starters in to build up the score. But they take them out to give them rest. So from that perspective, there's a little gray area.
It's time to look at tonight's Gatorade Endurance Player of the Game. Shane Battier again, 35 minutes, 9 points, 3 of 6 from behind the arc, and great defense as always. There's my leading. If I had to vote for Defensive Player of the Year, and of course I appreciate him more because I get to watch him every night. But he takes the other team's number 1 score night in and night out.
He doesn't ever complain. It shows up for every game.
He's got to be in. When you start talking about Defensive Players of the Year, he's got to be in the mix.
Oh, he's got to be in the top 3. Number Mutombo played more, he'd be in the top
Well,
three.
normally they give that, to shot blockers or guys who change the game.
Mutombo's won a couple throughout his career.
Yes, he has. Akbar takes it in, draws the foul. 4:42 left to play.
All number 0, Aaron Brooks is first.
Boki Akbar, who was drafted by the Houston Rockets and has developed into a nice player. He's finally arrived in New Jersey. He's gotten a few more minutes. It's hard to believe that Boki now is in his 6th year in the NBA out of Slovenia.
He had some great games for the Nets last season in the playoff run.
Yes, he did. He was big from that three-point line. Knocked out of bounds by Harris. Mike with 7 rebounds, go along with 6 points there. Look at the ice. The Rockets lead the league in ice.
Those two guys especially. Bobby Jackson, Mutombo. Bobby in his 11th year, Mutombo in his 17th year. Did you say 27 still?
Yeah, did you, were they icing joints when you played?
Oh, absolutely.
I didn't know whether
Much
they had
more.
started that yet. You know, back when I first came into the league, they didn't know about that. A lot of guys played a lot of years without ever having the benefit of ice. Keep the swelling down.
I think it's a great way to prevent inflammation.
Nice basket by Justin Williams. You know, when Justin, we had a game earlier this year where he had something 10 or 11 rebounds against the Rockets.
Oh, he's a good player. A lot of talent on the Rockets bench.
Well, everybody has scored for the Rockets except Chuck Hayes and Aaron Brooks. And a foul on Justin Williams, who prides himself in rebounding and shot blocking. He's out of Wyoming in his 2nd year. And Justin is a nice insurance policy, and I think that's what Daryl Morey was thinking about. He was looking for bigger physical players when Yao Ming went out.
More athletic.
Yeah.
And this guy's not a bad pickup.
No, he's not. Justin averaged 5 points a game playing for Dakota, the Wizards in the NBA Developmental League.
Only in his 2nd season as an NBA player.
Aaron Brooks has now scored. So everybody has scored. And had some serious, he was deep on the warning path when he shot that.
He's got good range, especially when he squares up.
Only Chuck Hayes will go without scoring tonight. But he had 10 rebounds.
That'll do it. Give me 10 rebounds any night.
Everybody doing what's asked of them.
You know what? No one's complaining. They all treasure their role.
But that's a little easier when you're winning.
Oh, so easy. It's like everyone gets along so well when you're winning.
Yeah. But you know that's an old school deal again. Chemistry. You hear it. It's an overused word. You hear people talk about it. But chemistry is huge.
Huge. Everything you do.
As long as I've been around the game, it is.
And it forever will be. Happy with your situation, happy with your teammates. You just come in and do the best you can do for the team. And it's clearly a team concept.
Well, it is in the Rockets sense because they really only have what you would call a true superstar in Tracy McGrady, and he is. There's no doubt about it. Great pass by Aaron. So we have one more timeout. 2:53 left to play in this game as the Rocket Ball on FSN Houston is brought to you by Southwest Airlines, by Landry's Signature Group, by AIG, by the Progressive Insurance Group, and by Toyota. Well, making history is priceless.
You gotta love that.
That fan's loving it. And you know, another statistic we haven't talked about, and the Rockets are making so many of them, that's the big one, of course, 19-0. But this will be the 10th game in a row with double-digit win for the Rockets. And that ties a record that New Jersey is one of the teams that held. And the Washington Capitals from 1946. You weren't on that team, were you, Paul?
No. I didn't come into the league until
I think Red Auerbach was.
21st century.
He coached it.
I think Mutombo played.
No, he didn't. No, he didn't.
I think I saw him block one of George Mikan's shots.
George Mikan would have never had the career he did if Deke would have been. But it's just amazing when you talk about all these great players and these great teams that the Rockets are joining now. It's just almost incomprehensible.
Yeah, this is legendary stuff, as I said
It really
before.
is. That 71-72 Lakers team was about as good as they can come. You know, Jim Foley told a funny story. When Milwaukee won the NBA championship in 70-71, they won 20 games in a row, and they thought they wanted that on their championship ring because they thought that streak would last forever. They got their rings in November, and by December, the Lakers had already broken that record and went on to win 33 in a row. So they went back-to-back seasons with 20 by the Bucks and then 33 by the Lakers. Then the Lakers won 19 in a row in 1999 and 2000, and now the Rockets come along for 19 wins in a row.
Records are made to be broken.
Joe Miles Swift with the free throw, and tonight's Landry signature group, Rockets player of the game, Rafer Alston, 12 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists. And again, Rafer getting the Rockets off to a good start, played only 26 minutes. McGrady played only 29 minutes. So a good opportunity for those guys to take a rest because the Rockets will have to go to Atlanta tomorrow to play Wednesday night. And isn't it interesting now, the irony of that is when the Rockets won 15 in a row, 93-94, that streak came to an end in Atlanta. I remember I was there. The Rockets had won their 15th in a row against the Knicks. They had to play in Atlanta the next night. They didn't get into Atlanta. We didn't until about 4 o'clock in the morning. Terrible flight. We couldn't get into the airport. And Atlanta handed it to the Rockets, and that was in 94. So now Atlanta with a chance to end this streak on Wednesday night as the Rockets will go for their 20th win in a row in Atlanta.
Back to back. And the key is, let's get to Atlanta tonight.
No, we're not.
Early.
We're going to take off tomorrow, but the Rockets will then come back to play a very good Charlotte. I'm not a very good team, but an improving team. The Bobcats have won 5 games in a row. They're making a bid over in the East.
Yes, they are.
And they're very athletic. They're going to get Gerald Wallace back this week. They have a very young, very good team.
Well, in the East, if you get anything close to 500, you're going to be in the playoffs.
Well, I know Rick doesn't want to talk about it. He wants to take them one at a time, but if you get Atlanta and you get Charlotte, if you get victories there, you'll take on the Lakers Sunday here in Houston. That game has been changed to Sunday afternoon at 2:30. And a chance to make more history.
You do have to take them one at a time. I subscribe to that theory because each and every game is important. So you can't afford to drop any of them. So you have to focus individually. And the good teams are able to do that. The minute you start looking ahead, that's when bad things truly happen.
Well, I remember Rick telling me that when Portland, that team you were on, won 16 in a row, you got kicked out in the 17th game. So,
I'll tell you what.
and he said he went right after you did. So y'all were doing it. You remember who you lost to?
I have no idea.
You don't remember?
I can't remember what happened last week.
You'd be good on the witness stand.
I do remember that they couldn't have had that streak had I not played in the previous 16.
That's the way to look at it.
No, we had a great team.
Matt Bullard was on that 15-win team.
For the Rockets, yes.
Matt, you remember that Atlanta game, don't you?
I don't think he's in his chair, but I'm sure he remembers every minute of it because he watched it all.
He's back at the pizza place. 44 seconds left. Lutherhead puts it up and in. 91-77 Houston.
But anytime you have a chance to take a stab at history, you got to give it everything you have. This stuff would never be forgotten.
Oh, it'll live forever.
Absolutely. Just to be a part of a team that was able to do that, special, very special. At the highest level of the world.
Well, a standing ovation from this crowd. The Rockets took care of business here tonight. Rockets held the Nets to only 30% shooting, their best defensive effort of the season. And that's 10 consecutive double-digit wins for the Houston Rockets. There it is. The Lakers, the Bucks, and now the Rockets. 19 wins in a row. The Rockets keep the streak alive.